This is our Success Mentorship class number 165. Our topic for today is using your imagination to create reality. Using your imagination to create reality. This is based on chapter 3 of our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And if you don't have a copy, be sure to get one. You can get it on Amazon. Be sure to get the Super Achiever edition. But get it on our website, www.12, the number 12uls.com, www.12, the number 12uls.com. And let me tell you this, folks, when you get it on our website, and if you get it right away this Sunday, the 13th of June, we're doing a seminar called Do It Now, How to Overcome Procrastination. And the admission to the seminar is just buy the book. So when you go to 12uls.com and get a copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, you are automatically in that seminar, that webinar. All right. As I said, our topic for today is using your imagination to create reality. And I always like to start with a quote. And one of my favorite quotes is from Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali said, "The man who has no imagination has no wings." I'll say that again. The man who has no imagination has no wings. Albert Einstein took it even further. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." Albert Einstein. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Wow. So we got a powerful message today, folks. So let us prepare ourselves in the usual way. Let us take put our feet flat on the floor. Let us sit straight up in our seats. Let's close our outer eyes. Put our hands palm down on our knees. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And in this state of relaxation, I am at peace with myself. I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. Take a deep breath. I am at peace with myself. Just let that peace sink in for a minute. And in this peaceful state, our minds are open, receptive, and ready to learn. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us say that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Once more. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Woo! All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success Mentorship class number 165. And our topic for today is using your imagination to create your reality. And much of what we're doing today comes from chapter 3 of our book, The Law of Vision in the 12 Universal Laws of Success. So let us look now. We are at a point in time and space where we realize that the only time that exists is right now, this moment. And so many of us at this moment have a question. And that question is, what do I do next? And when we really look at life, what we do next is really the essence of the journey. We talk about the success journey, the journey to be what you want to be, to do what you want to do, and to have whatever you want to have. It's really about what you do next. And it's important because what you do now impacts what you do next. We are where we are because of the choices we make and the actions we take based on those choices. So then what we do next is determined by what we do now. We may be at a point in our lives, some of us are there at a point in our lives where we need to make a change. At a point in our lives, we say, you know what? I got to make a switch. I got to make a turn. There's something that I got to do to take me from where I am to where I want to be. And most of us are almost there. We're really literally almost there. We would not be on this call today, on this broadcast today, on Facebook, on Instagram, if you did not already have a desire for your success. Believe me, there are millions of people. One of my friends, one of my old partners, Lou had a concert once at Carnegie Hall. And I said, well, Lou, how did it go? And he said, man, people stayed away in droves. So believe me, there are millions of people out there who are really where you are right now, except they're not asking that question. They're not seeking that answer. They're not saying, you know what? I need to make a turn. I need to make a change in my direction, maybe a change in my direction, a change in my attitude, a change in my thinking, a change in my associations. I need to do something different. And so when we start looking at how do you do something different? How do you figure out what to do next? There are 4 keys I want us to focus on. The first is time. If we have no time, game over. So the fact that we're alive right now means that we have already been given a tremendous gift to help us along our journey to personal growth and development. So time. The second gift is thought. The first law of success says we become what we think about most of the time. A mind shall have whatsoever it thinks in its heart. Earl Nightingale, of course, said we become what we think about most of the time. So the fact that we have time and the capacity to think gives us an incredible advantage. Really gives us all we need to get where we want to go. The third key is action. We must have time, we must have the thoughts, and then we must take action on those thoughts. There's a great scripture and it says, pray. Pray is really using the time to focus your thoughts on a particular outcome, but it says pray and move your feet. So you got to take action on whatever it is that you desire. Welcome, all of you. So many have joined us this morning. Thank you, Stuart and Carolyn. Thank you. So you must take action on what you desire. And then the fourth key is discipline. So all that we talk about today in utilizing and developing your imagination is in the context of time, using the time you have available, thoughts in accordance with the thoughts that will lead you where you want to go, action, taking action on those thoughts, because without action, thoughts are just thistles in the wind, and then discipline. To take control of our minds, take control of our bodies, take control of our emotions, take control of our instincts in such strength or degree that we can make everything work, that we can focus. See, whatever we focus on grows. And so discipline gives us the capacity to focus our thoughts on a particular thing, to focus our actions on a particular thing. Discipline gives us the power to say from moment to moment, what is the best use of my time right now? When I consider my goals, my vision, and my purpose. So it is in this context now that we focus on imagination. Albert Einstein had great respect for imagination. He said that imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the whole world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. Imagination is literally boundless, infinite potential. How do we use our imagination? How do we connect to this infinite potential that exists? We activate our imagination through desire. Desire is the emotional energy that connects us with imagination, with infinite intelligence. If we don't desire something, imagination is irrelevant. In other words, imagination is a consciousness of a link to infinite knowledge. If we have no desire, then that link doesn't matter. So we must desire something before we can really take advantage of the power of imagination. You know, some people live their lives like thistles in the wind. They never know what they want. They have no desires, and thus they have no goals. You see, to have desire means you must desire something. The most powerful, most expensive GPS is completely worthless unless you put a destination in it. In order for you to create the greatness that's within you, you must desire to do so, and you must have a goal of that greatness. A goal, something that you want to be, something you want to do, something you want to have, some impact you want to have on the entire world. Other people live their lives like stars on a predetermined trajectory. It's like they know what they want from the moment they're born. I often follow the life of Tyler Perry, and it seems that Tyler Perry was always focused on, he knew exactly what he wanted. He had a goal. He had a vision for the manifestation of that goal, and he gave everything he had to make it happen. It was like he was on a predetermined trajectory. It's like he always knew what to do next. You see, when you have a goal that's so deeply ingrained in your consciousness, then what to do next becomes fairly obvious. That GPS, once you dial in that direction, that destination, then it literally tells you how to get there. You don't have to worry about the electronics of the GPS, the satellites up in the sky. All you know is it will tell you how to get there. Well, when you want, when you desire something, when you have a goal that's that profound and it's that fueled by deep desire, then how to get there will manifest. So we always go back to that thought of goals. So just a digression for a moment. Every success book, every person you've ever met, they always talk about you've got to have goals. You've got to have written goals. You've got to read your written goals over 3 or 4 times a day. You must think about your goals. You must feel your goals. You must smell them. You must be able to touch them. If you don't have that, then none of this works. Remember this. If you don't have goals, I don't care how powerful your GPS of life is, it will not work for you. So desire is that vibration inside, that energy that connects us with infinite intelligence. You see, the universe is created whole. The universe, the God-created universe, the almighty universe has to be created whole. In other words, everything that can ever exist has always existed. The universe is literally potential. The universe is like a great field, a very fertile soil that no matter what you put in it, it's going to grow. So imagination is your ability, your skill to connect with the formless energy of the universe, the potential for that rich soil. The universe, the formless energy of the universe, and it is through your imagination that you are able to tap into that energy through your desire to manifest it in your life, in your reality. So when we say people are at a turning point, it means that we are saying right now that I got to draw a line in the sand, that whatever's going on, I got to make a change. Whatever's happening, I got to do something different. Now, I want to take my hat off to those people who are like those stars on that predetermined trajectory. And there are a lot of you who know exactly where you're going, exactly what you want out of life, and it's revealing itself step by step. All you got to do is keep going and growing. But there are a lot of us who are at those turning points in our lives where we say, got to do something different. Got to make a new decision. I need some new thoughts. I need some new emotions. I need some new habits. I need some new people around me. Imagination now is that way to make it happen. You know the formula, the relativity formula, E energy equals MC squared. On a spiritual level, E energy is the vibration of your wisdom, the vibration of your mind, the vibration of your thoughts is equal to manifestation times the speed of light squared. So then manifestation, mass equals energy, your vibration level divided by the speed of light squared. Now, don't worry about the technicalities of it. The relationship to understand is that your vibration, the level of your desire, the level of your commitment has a direct relationship to the manifestation you have in your life. So when you seek to find, when you knock to have the door opened, when you ask to find the answers, as long as you don't quit, it's coming to you. You know, that spiritual principle says knock and it shall be open. Seeking you shall find, asking it shall be answered. But it never says how long. You have to do it until you get it. So, those of you who are looking for a better way, those of you who are looking for a better day, this is for you. You see, the essence of desire is something called certainty. I'm going to give an example. You may desire to become a millionaire. That's your desire. And you set out to make it happen. But things happen along the way, failures, disappointments, things don't work out. You quit. So the desired outcome was not a certainty in your consciousness. those of you who are parents, when you have children, little children, and they say, Mommy, Daddy, I'm hungry. You don't say to them, I'm going to go out and do the best I can. I'm going to go out and see if I can find some food. It's a certainty that they need that food. And as a parent, you bring back food, whether you have to beg, borrow, steal, whatever you have to do. As a lot of the young folks say, they say, I did what I had to do. You do whatever you have to do to get that desired outcome. That is what I'm talking about with certainty. That whatever you desire, you must desire it with the certainty that you know that it's there for you. That's why what we call faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So whatever your goals are that you are attempting to realize, are working to realize, are manifesting, in the process of manifesting, you must have absolute faith that it can happen. And faith is belief from which all doubt has been removed. It says faith is the substance of things hoped for. The goals that you have, that's the substance of the things you're hoping for. It's the essence of your goals. It is the evidence of things not seen. So that goal is in your mind so definitely, so specifically, so concisely, but there's no manifestation around you. There's no proof. You have a goal of being rich and yet you're broke. Your bills are behind, your mortgage is behind. But there are many people who that goal was so strong that their condition didn't matter. That their finance, they were working so hard at it. You think about Hugh Hefner. When Hugh Hefner wanted to start Playboy magazine, number one, at the time he started Playboy magazine, I mean, people didn't even go naked at the beach. I mean, that was just outrageous. And believe me, nobody was willing to invest in his magazine. Nobody was rushing to join him. But he saw a need. He saw a potential out there. And he worked to manifest it. And he gave everything he had. He said, well, look, I can't have an office. I got to have an office if I'm claiming to be a magazine. I can't afford an office and a home, so I'll live in my office. I need people to write articles for the magazine. I can't pay anybody, so I'll write all the articles and put names on it. I got to eat. I need money to eat. So I have a magazine. I go to restaurants and write good reviews or threaten them with a bad review. I need models to take pictures. Well, I take the same models to the restaurants and feed them. Not that that's all you have to do. But what I'm saying is he took his desire, and that desire was so strong that the wherewithal to make it happen manifested. You must have total faith in the desires of your life. So how do we use imagination to manifest those desires? Well, there are two kinds of imagination. There is synthetic imagination, and we talk about it a lot. You know, in network marketing, we talk about fake it till you make it. Synthetic imagination is where you fake it till you make it, where you see that you want to be, do, and have, and you act as though you already have it. You know, it's like you go into the mirror every day and you look in the mirror, and no matter what you see, you say, I am beautiful through and through. Well, you do that every day, sooner or later, that thing is going to penetrate. You're going to look, you say, I really am beautiful. And so synthetic imagination is where you fake it till you make it, where you literally go through the process of that which you want to the point where it literally becomes a part of you. It's like you learn the words to the song, you practice and practice and learn the words to the song. There becomes a point where whenever you hear the music, you don't have to think about the words anymore, they're there. And then we have creative imagination. That's what I really want us to focus on. See, creative imagination is that deep sense of belief in whatever you're seeking. Creative imagination is where you make that universal connection between what you're seeking and infinity and the good mind, the God mind. And so when you are seeking, whatever you are seeking, that thought, that vision becomes the source for your creative imagination. So we literally live in the prison of our imagination. And so I often say that your only limitation is your own imagination. And so if your imagination is a small one, if you dream small dreams, you get small results. When they talk about Paul and Silas in prison, and it says an earthquake shook to open the door, many of us have that same potential. We have permitted our imagination to be confined by thoughts of lack and limitation, by all the things of what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, what's never been done before. And we permit ourselves to be confined in that prison. And sometimes that earthquake that shook the doors of the prison open for Paul and Silas, in our lives, we may have a great catastrophe. We may lose everything. We may hit a rock, and it's only then that we say, you know what, I got it. I got it now. I needed this slap in the face. I needed to be knocked down so I could find out that I had the strength to get up. I needed to be disappointed so I found that I had the power to overcome disappointment. I needed these obstacles so that I could stretch my wings and learn how to fly. So our imagination is only limited by our creativity. So how do we expand our imagination? Well, there are three keys, and we call it how to expand your creative imagination, how to expand your creativity. And creativity is really an awareness of what's around you. How do you expand that? There are three keys. Number one, believe that it can be done. That whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, whatever your vision is for yourself, believe it can be done. Not only believe it can be done, believe it will be done. Believe that it is inevitable. So when Kenya Crook set out to become a personal trainer, he believed that it was inevitable that he become a major player in the personal training area. When Quee Jones started setting up her salon and building her business, she saw the bigness of it. And so this idea of believing that it can be done is huge. Think about this. The moment you believe that it can be done, you have made a connection now to the universal force of consciousness to get it done. That once you believe it can be done, then life gives you what you ask. So if you ask for a miracle, you get a miracle. Whatever the mind believes is true sets up the stage for that truth to manifest in your life. Whenever you say, whatever I ask of life with feeling, life works to bring it to you. There's a great poem by Jessie Bell Rittenhouse, and it says this: I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I asked of life, life would have paid. So when we believe it can be done, we are setting up the stage for it to manifest. The key is don't worry about the how. Okay? When your belief is so strong, don't worry about the how. That's the power of imagination, the power of the universal consciousness, that if your belief is that strong, that's like that seed planted in the ground, in the fertile earth. That seed's going to grow because that's the nature of the seed. You don't need to understand how it works, just that it grows. Second key to expand your creativity. Eliminate the word impossible from your thoughts. Eliminate the word impossible from your vocabulary, from your emotions. Eliminate the whole negative world of negative consciousness. You see, the universe is created harmonically. There's positive, there's negative. The difference is you choose. You know, in the Garden of Eden, the symbolic truth, it says that if Adam and Eve had gone in the garden and they eat of the knowledge of good and evil, then they will be as gods. In other words, that the universe is harmonic. And the unique nature of man is we have the consciousness to choose good or choose bad. And so to expand your creative ability, which expands your imagination, eliminate the word impossible from your thoughts, from your actions, from your reality. You see, don't worry about whether it's ever been done before. You know, people will often say, it's impossible. They said flying was impossible, but yet the Wright brothers flew. They said it was impossible to go to the moon, but yet we've been to the moon. The moment you eliminate the word impossible from your thinking, from your vocabulary, you literally connect to the possibility, the infinite possibility for manifestation. And when you have faith in the process, if you want it badly enough and work at it diligently enough, it will manifest. The third key to expanding your creative intelligence, your creative imagination, is to always be receptive to new ideas. You know, we set up our meditation, we say, I am open and receptive. And there's a reason for that whole consciousness, that your mind should be programmed that whenever good thoughts come into it, it automatically receives them. To be receptive to good ideas, to new ideas. My daughter once said, Dad, it's not enough just to be receptive to new ideas. You have to accept them also. So sometimes when you seek and you may find something you don't like, especially when you're looking into yourself, looking into who you are and what you're about, so that you can get a better understanding of how you have to move to get where you want to go. So sometimes you'll look in there and you see something like you don't like. So that idea to be open and receptive to new ideas, even if it's something you don't like, to be open and receptive to it. To set your ego aside. Maybe the ego has been the problem all along. Maybe you've been so busy feeding your ego, that is why you have not been able to do what you say you want to do. Maybe you've been so involved with the rightness of your own position that you can't see the effectiveness of somebody else's. Don't worry about where the idea comes from. You know, our ego can make us say, well, you know, this person doesn't have any degrees. I got more degrees than a thermometer. What do they know? Hey, they know whatever they know. They may have been blessed to tune into infinite intelligence. You look at Elon Musk. You know, when he was hosting Saturday Night Live, he, I guess, told the world for the first time that he actually was, I think, an autistic kid with, was it Asperger's syndrome? Nobody knew that. He never shared that before, but he said, hey, for a kid with Asperger's, I've done all right. So those key things. Number one, believe it can be done. Number two, eliminate the word impossible from your vocabulary. And number three, be open and receptive to new ideas. So now let's bring this puppy home. How do you practice, learn, practice, and master of expanding your imagination? You see, the bigger your imagination, the bigger your reality. The bigger your imagination, the more you can imagine and believe with faith, the more you can manifest in your life. So how do we practice? What do we do to actually expand our imagination? Number one, we need to set a specific time, date, place to be quiet, to meditate, to learn to connect with the infinity of reality in the superconscious mind. That once we have that special time to meditate, and it's something you have to do on a daily basis. The sun does not rise each day because it feels like it. It rises because that's the nature of how it works. Transformation is a daily process. And so establish a daily regimen at a time and place that works for you to be at peace with yourself and for you to practice your imagination skills, to see things that you've never seen before. Number two, develop the habit of using your mind for new ideas. You see, we often short circuit our imagination potential by accepting what somebody else says can't be done. You think about the 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister, until Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile, for the thousands of years before that, the world said that it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. That the human being did not have the capacity to do it, that your legs wouldn't move fast enough, the muscles wouldn't adjust quick enough. Once Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile, within a year, many others had done it. So what happened? Did they take a course in mile running? No. Once the mindset said to the world that this was possible, that mindset penetrated everybody's mind. And so now everybody could do it. So develop that habit of using your mind for new ideas. When situations present themselves, ask yourself this question: how can this benefit me? What can I learn from this that will make me a better person? You know, you can look at it and say, oh, this is a terrible situation. You can say, what can I learn from this that will help me become a better person? Number three, think in new expanded dimensions beyond what you're accustomed to thinking. If you do the same things, if you think the same thoughts over and over, you're going to get the same results. Most people think the same thoughts. One of the ideas about, you might say, mediocrity is that you accept the thoughts that are appropriate, that somebody else said is appropriate for that level. When you start thinking in expanded dimensions, it presses you to a whole new realization of who you are. I'm a network marketer. I've been with a network marketing company for 11 years, and it's given me the opportunity to do all the other things I want to do by creating consistent income. My sponsor, okay, my coach, he asked me, he said, well, what's your goal for this business, Herb? And I said, well, man, my goal is to make $100,000 a month. He listened. And in my mind, $100,000 a month, that's $1.2 million a year. That was my goal. And then he asked something that really shocked me. He said, why not make $1 million a month? I got real quiet. That's one of those situations where, very interesting. That's one of those situations where when things happen, you get quiet. What I didn't realize was that I had never imagined myself making $1 million a month. I never could see how my life would be. And I'm challenging you here today that whatever you are making financially right now, I guarantee that your life is circumscribed and defined by the money you make. Your outlook is defined by the money you make. You may have more month at the end of the money, so you're always under stress. But when he said to make $1 million a month, I realized that I did not have a picture of what my life would be like if I made $1 million a month. I could see 100,000 a month. You know, I know I want a luxury place in New York, a 3-bedroom overlooking the park with a terrace, and that might cost $10,000 a month. I could see that. You know, there are places like that around, believe me. I've seen a few. You know, I love cars, so I could be like Jay Leno, you know. I could buy 20 cars, maybe 10 cars. In other words, your level of consciousness, your level of imagination, if you don't strive to make it bigger, will be based on where you are as opposed to where you want to be. So I challenge each and every one of you today, imagine whatever amount you're making a month, imagine making 10 times that amount, and then visualize what your life would be like. It's going to give you some real pause, and take some time laying that out, because what you'll find is that as you do that and lay that out, you will see a whole different representation of you. That's an exercise. Work on that, because when you can see the representation of how your life would be like if you achieve a particular goal, then don't worry about the how, it will manifest. Think about this. Imagination. Think about this. Image in action. Imagination is image in action. Literally, the manifestation of your image in your life. Number 4, participate in activities that expand you as a person. In other words, get off the porch. They say the African proverb, the man who's never left home thinks his mother's the best cook. Get out and do something different. If you want to run with the big dogs, then you need to run when the big dogs run. Expand your capacity by associating with other people who've been where you want to go. Get uncomfortable. You see, when you participate in activities that expand you as a person, it makes you uncomfortable. When you see certain things happening in other people's lives. I know I had a chance to visit the hotel suite that Michael Jackson stayed in when he was in Las Vegas. And I'd never seen an apartment that had a swimming pool that was in the living room that went out onto the terrace. I think it was like 10,000 square feet, a whole floor. Like, wow. But having seen that, now I have a whole different perspective of how I may want to live my life. Or maybe how I want to help other people live their lives. Then number 5, develop your instincts of wonder. Develop your emotions, your instincts of wonder. You really have to begin to see and be excited about stuff. You know, when you're a child, everything was wonderful. You were curious about everything. You wanted to go look. You wanted to go see. You wanted to go be. As adults, we kind of get away from that. Well, get back to that. I guarantee you, if you want to extend your life, build your attitude of wonder. Just be excited about what you see, what you be, things that you've never seen before. When you do that, when you do these things, you literally master the skill of imagination, and imagination now becomes your tool to create your reality. Recapping, you use these 4 principles: how you use your time, your thoughts, your action, and discipline. To use these 4 principles as the mechanism to manifest your dreams in reality. That you increase your creativity by believing that it can be done, by eliminating the word impossible, by doing new things, thinking new ideas. And you practice that creative imagination every day, to sit in that special place, that comfortable place, to be at peace with yourself, to let it all flow into your mind. Let yourself become one with the vibrations, to use your mind for new ideas, to think in expanded dimensions beyond what you normally do, to participate in activities that expand you, and to build your possibilities for wonder. Whew. When you can do these things, folks, you may want to go back and listen to this whole piece and take some more notes, but when you can do these things, you can literally practice and develop your imagination powers, that you are literally able to manifest anything in your life, that your only limitation is your own imagination. That if you can see it, you can be it. If you see it, you can do it. If you can see it, you can have it. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being a part today. Don't forget, those of you on Sunday, the 13th of June, 2:45 p.m., we have a webinar, Do It Now, How to Overcome Procrastination. And be sure to register. Just go to www.12uls.com, and that will automatically put you in that webinar. For those of you who are part of the Success Mentorship Network, hang on, because we're going to have, I'm sure, an exciting discussion after we log off. And for those of you who really taken this message and drilled it down inside your consciousness, I always say to you to confirm the message by sending out a blessing to our Cash App. Many times just doing that confirms the value of what you've heard and strengthens the vibration by which you can operate. Our Cash App is $Herbie Man, HERBYMAN, $Herbie Man. So you can send that. It ain't mandatory, but if you feel that this lesson has been a serious blessing to you, then send something to $Herbie Man and confirm that knowledge, always knowing that the best is yet to come. So it is.